Hello everyone, my name is Mike, and today here with me my friend Nick, and he's going to tell us about his experience with girls in Ukraine, because actually he decided to visit Ukraine and find a regular job there, and now he's working as an English teacher in Ukraine. So Nick, how do you feel in Ukraine?
I feel really good. I feel like I'm really close to meeting the girl of my dreams here in Ukraine. And I'm loving my job, but I gotta be honest, there's some culture shock associated with moving here.
What?
Well, first, people are a lot quieter, and they don't like doing the same kind of polite things Americans do. Like, for instance, I made a buddy, his name is Sasha, at a hookah lounge, and he's really cool. And this morning I saw him, opening up the hookah lounge, and I waved, as like, "Hey buddy, what's up?" And he ran over and was like, "What's wrong? What do you need?" And I was like, "Oh, I was just saying hi." And he was like, "Why the fuck did you waste my time?" I was like, "Because you're my bro, and that's what we do."
Oh, okay. He was very rude with you.
Yeah, no, he disrespected me. He rejected my wave. That's like when we wave at you in America, it's like, I respect you is what that means.
Okay.
And as you know, Mike, I'm trying to find a devушки here in Ukraine, and I gotta say,
on Tinder,
it's tough.
On Tinder.
Well, Tinder is just one of my methods. I attack from all angles.
What is another?
I attack from all angles.
What is another method?
Well, my favorite method is standing out on the sidewalk and waiting for girls to walk by. and saying, "Здравствуйте, what's your Instagram?"
And staring at them.
No.
With a face like this.
So obviously, I'm kidding, but I have had some conversations with girls in Ukraine, and I just made some interesting observations. Things that I just want to talk about, things that genuinely confuse me as an American, and I just wonder if other people have the same confusion. So, Ukrainian girls do this thing where they're walking out in public and they're very well dressed and they're wearing perfect makeup and they're walking very elegantly, but then you'll cross their path, or maybe you'll brush into them, and immediately they'll look at you like they're going to kill you. And I don't understand why there's no in between of elegance and beauty and I'm gonna fucking punch you. Why can't it just be like, "Oh, excuse me"? That's been a real eye opener for me, and it makes it difficult because I've noticed myself walking around on eggshells a little bit, where I'm like, okay, I know that if I do one thing kind of out of line, they'll get really upset with me. But also another way of looking at that is Ukrainian women are very complicated and deep, and it can be kind of fun and interesting to learn about how they think. But at first, you're like, "I'm sorry, I don't know what I did," and it can get annoying.
Dude, let's compare American girls and Ukrainian girls. What do you think? What is the biggest difference now?
Okay. I would say American girls on average are a bit more polite and they're more extroverted. And the other comparison is subjective. I'll say this: being from America, American women's behavior is more predictable for me, whereas sometimes Ukrainian women, it's being on a roller coaster because I have no idea what's going to happen next. And that's not a knock on Ukrainian women. That's just how it is, and that can be really stressful, just in general in life. Going to a new culture, that aspect can be really stressful. But
so that's very interesting. You just came to a new country, and so you're getting your first emotions about this country. So as far as I know, you visited a lot of bars, and you like drinking with Ukrainian people. Can you tell us a little bit about this experience that you had?
So I actually haven't visited nearly as many bars as I'd like to, but it is true. I've visited some bars, and let me just say this about not only bars but restaurants in general in Kharkiv in Ukraine. This level of service and the quality of the food and drink you get is amazing. I've had some of the best beer I've ever had, some of the best food I've ever had, and holy shit, is it less expensive. I would pay $7 or $8 for a beer in America, depending on the bar. Here I can get an even better tasting beer and a larger quantity for like $1.50, and it's amazing, and I love it. And dude, I love cheap beer and cheap good food. Holy shit, what a fucking combination. So Ukrainian bars, they're better for that reason, I think.
Okay, what do you think about the salaries? You mentioned that everything is cheaper, especially restaurants and bars. So did you notice any difference in salaries?
No, because, well, yeah, so I work at an English school now here in Ukraine, and obviously the salary is less than what I would make in America. But as soon as you start factoring in cost of living and, price to buy anything, immediately it works itself out, right? Like it evens out. So I would say salaries are clearly much lower here. But at the same time,
okay, let's talk a little bit about how much do you need for living in the US and how much do you need for living in the Ukraine?
Yeah, how much do you need to live in the US? You need a winning lottery ticket or some serious luck. Dude, honestly, man, I don't know how much you know about this, but like Americans, Americans who are my age struggle to get by. I know there's exceptions, there's clearly exceptions, but I think the cost of everything in America is really tough. Like, for instance, this might surprise some Ukrainian viewers, but if you make $25,000 a year in America and you have no other income, you're pretty much broke. Actually, you're really broke. You really want to be making at least $50,000 a year. Yeah, but dude, I'm telling you.
What if you make same amount of money in Ukraine?
You're a god. You're a god. You can live in the center of the city. You can buy a mansion. Yeah.
Buy cars.
Yeah. Dude.
Buy drinks.
Working in America has this very specific type of frustration where you see this big number and you think, oh great, but then the second you get it, it's gone. It all goes to bills. It all goes to the cost of property and things like that. And I haven't had that yet in Ukraine, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying getting to spend some of my money on like a nice beer or a nice meal.
Yeah, that's very cool. So how much do you think you need to live in Ukraine, to buy food, to pay rent, to drive some car and spend like good time with girls?
Well, I don't know the answer to the last one because, that's quite complicated. I haven't figured
You haven't
that one
met
out
any
yet.
girls yet, okay?
Yeah,
But anyway.
Exactly. No girls will talk to me, so when they do, I'll let you know. So here's my answer. If you're an American and you want to live in Ukraine, you need at least $700 a month, at least, preferably like $900 or $1,000. Obviously, Ukrainians live on a lot less, but
That's
you're not
not
a
too
Ukrainian.
much.
You're not a Ukrainian, and you don't know how to live like that. So, yeah, if you're an American and you want to live in Ukraine, I would suggest a $700 a month budget minimum. I know it's possible to live on much less, but that's just my suggestion. And I'm a pretty smart guy, so I'd listen to me.
Okay, so did you have any experience spending time with Ukrainian girls?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I know that you had.
Yeah, no, a lot of them are very nice. Obviously, so I've been discovering this fact for the last year now, but it just never ceases to amaze me. There's just beautiful women everywhere, like everywhere, and it's just, I'm so not used to it, and I'm so happy about it. but it's just like I can't believe it. Like, Mike, is there ever anything in your life where like you just can't believe it? You're just like, there's no way. Like, I don't accept this. This isn't happening. I keep feeling like I'm in a dream and I'm gonna wake up. Because it's just like, when was this going on? Like, where was this my whole life?
I think I would feel the same way if it came to the US, probably.
Probably, but not. But
because everything is new to you. But I don't think that I would feel same things about girls in the US. I think that Ukrainian girls are great, but actually I can't understand why everything is so new to you, because it's it's a different country.
It is, man. What's so weird here is seeing everything in this country that is normal and everyone thinking it's normal and accepting it's normal, but it's not normal to me. And like it happens at the same exact time. Like me thinking it's not normal.
What things are you talking about?
Well, so a good example is like just literally like the girls. And I know it sounds stupid, but you know that is an example. Everyone else is like, yeah, this is just life, and I'm like, are you fucking seeing this? Like, what are you talking about? This is just life. Whose life? Not my life. What are you talking about? So, and it's just, you know, it just blows my mind. Just continues to blow my mind. But
you just can't believe that they're so pretty.
I can't. I really can't. I can't because it's, dude, 26 years it hasn't been like that, you know. So it's really weird, and I hope I'm not coming off as disrespectful. I'm just sharing factual information with you. Like this has been my honest reaction.
If there are some American girls that are watching us right now, they will get very upset.
Really? Aww.
Probably.
Aww. I don't care. Okay. Moving on. Anyway, so I want to say this. I would say that Ukrainian people their personalities, they both match up with some of the stereotypes and don't match up with some of the stereotypes. Like for instance, I've heard some stereotypes that people in Ukraine are like kind of rude or like never smile. I've seen tons of smiling people, and I've been to like 3 different cities now, and I've seen tons of smiling people, tons of people who seem like content with themselves and their lives, and they're filled with energy, and they seem like good people who you want to hang out with, you know. So you're not going to be surrounded by people who like don't smile. That's not going to happen. And a lot of people, they love foreigners. They're very friendly. They want to share with you their culture, and you know they have good senses of humor, all that. However, at the exact same time, there's still a good amount of Ukrainians who are like, they're quick to anger, or they're quick to losing patience with you, and there are some Ukrainians that like. They seem to just, when they see anybody, including a foreigner, they just try to figure out like how to mess with you in some way or another, you know. So that does happen, and I'm just being honest. Like it does happen. But I think, to be honest, for the most part, I think the stereotypes they're maybe like a little bit true, but I would honestly say 90% of the time different. 90% of the time different. It's like when people say all Americans are fat, and then they finally go to America and they realize like, okay, so there's fat Americans, but like most Americans are not fat.
Yeah, I think most of the stereotypes about Ukrainian people are bullshit. But anyway, what do you think about apartments in Ukraine?
I like them.
Are they better?
Dude, you gotta be careful because some of the apartments are like, we call them, like they flipped them or they renovated them, but they did a really shitty job. I would go more with the building that's a little bit older, like not really old, but like a little bit older, isn't brand new, and you can like.
Why?
You know, because I went to a hostel a couple weeks ago. It was like this 1-room apartment, and every time I turned on the lights, I'd get electrocuted, and like the water smelled, and the shower wouldn't drain, like, and it was so fucking humid in there. It was disgusting. But like, for instance, I'm in a Khrushchevka right now, and it's quite comfortable, and I like it a lot. And I would stay here longer.
Do you know what does that mean?
It's a
Khrushchevka.
It's a Soviet apartment block built under the reign of President Nikita Khrushchev, if I'm correct.
Okay, yeah, you're correct.
Yeah. So it's nice in here. I like it. Now there's the best kind of Ukrainian apartment are like Khrushchevkas or similar that have recently been like renovated, and they're inexpensive. They're quite nice. And as long as it was...
How much do you pay for them?
I pay more than Ukrainians do because I use English-speaking sites, but you can get a really decent place for
I told you I could help you.
Yeah, you can help me later. Like I have to be the American first before I can get a really cheap place.
Okay, but anyway, how much?
You can get a decent place for $400 a month. You should be happy with that. Unless you have connections.
Let's compare the prices with American prices.
Yeah, sure.
What can you rent for like $400 in America?
So in the city of Bridgeport, Connecticut, the same space I have here, if it was in Bridgeport, Connecticut, it would be about $1,500 a month. Now, in Bridgeport, there's less restaurants, there's less pretty girls, everything costs way more. You won't be able to go out ever. All of your money will go to taxes and expenses, and you'll pay $1,500 a month for that just because you live an hour away from New York, which, oh, by the way, you won't go to that often. Trust me, I know. Whereas here, it's much cheaper, much more amenities, and I think much more interesting.
Mm-hmm. What about the cities that have pretty much the same population as Kharkiv?
Like cities in the United States? It depends.
Yes.
So Philadelphia, I think it's bigger than Kharkiv, but they both have over 1 million people, so we'll just go with it. I lived in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia is a dope city, and I think it's really tough to compete with Philly as far as culture and things to do and amenities. And yeah, I think Kharkiv wouldn't be able to keep up with Philadelphia in terms of how much fun you could have. But at the same time, it costs a lot less. And this same apartment in Philadelphia, in a bad neighborhood, might cost, let's see, in a very bad neighborhood would cost $900 a month. I know because I rented one once. In a good neighborhood, and honestly, if you're good with real estate, maybe you get one for like $1,400 a month. I'm just trying to be accurate. I think that's it, but it can start going up really quick. So yeah, obviously Philadelphia is probably more fun overall, but don't think that means that if you move to Philadelphia, you will have more fun than if you came and visited Kharkiv, because it's tough to compare, isn't it right? Like, isn't it tough to compare cities in different countries?
Yeah, it's quite tough. Tough.
But Philly's awesome.
So, but what were your expectations about Ukraine?
I expected that I would like it, that everything would be inexpensive, that people would be different. It'd be kind of like very down to earth and very genuine.
But it's different.
And everything has met or exceeded my expectations. Things I did not expect. I'll be honest, I was expecting Ukrainian food to kind of suck. And I know that sounds stupid, but I just never heard anything about it, so I assumed, oh, it must not be that good. But Ukrainian food...
What do you think now?
Dude, I've had the best meals of my life here, and I have eaten some good food. I have eaten some of the best food you can have. And I'd say like 2 of my 5 favorite meals I've had here. It's amazing, it's cheap, and oh yeah, you can get some delicious wine to go with it. So... I'm blown away by the food, and let's see, I'm blown away by, like, I knew there was like cool restaurants and stuff here. I'm blown away by just how many there are. Like, I'm serious, you could go to any part of Kharkiv, even parts that don't look so great, and you could find like an amazing restaurant or an amazing bar. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's cool actually. In Russia and in Kharkiv, there are a lot of cool restaurants and bars, and they're very cheap. If we compare these bars with some bars in the US, yeah, the prices are different, but the quality of food that you get is pretty much the same.
No, not even,
That's
dude.
how it is.
The quality of food I get at bars in America is like shit I could make in the microwave. Like, really, it really is. It's like chili cheese. It's retarded. It's awful. It's like a fucking Big Mac for like $20, right? So I don't even, honestly, dude. Like, it's
That's
not that
a lot. I can't believe that. That's a lot.
I used to love going out with my friends and drinking, but American bars just suck too much, and I'm against them. I don't go to them. They cost too much and they don't taste very good. So, and like,
but
everybody drinks Budweiser.
Yeah. Yeah, is that the reason because of why you decided to visit Ukraine and find a job there? Tell us a little bit more about your reasons that you had.
Yeah, like I said, I'm here in Ukraine to meet a devushki. And
so first reason.
And also enjoy
to meet
vodka,
some pretty girls.
Pretty girls and vodka.
Okay.
I'd also like a pet bear. And these are just the basic reasons.
Pet bear?
A pet bear. And
what?
Yeah. And thankfully I was able to find this job as, what was it called again? An English teacher. Oh yeah, right. I'm an English teacher, so that I can fund this adventure and search for a devushki, a bear, and some vodka. And, so far I found vodka, and I'm still looking for the other 2, but, I think, Misha, I think I'm going to get there.
Mm-hmm. One more question that I wanted to ask you, how does it feel when people pay you some certain amount of money just for being native? Because let's be
Feels
honest.
awesome.
Your knowledge of English grammar is quite poor, and but the thing is that you feel the language.
Yeah.
And it makes you unique. And how does it feel? I mean, I mean, just imagine the situation. You don't need to imagine anything. You're the guy that was born in the US, you know English, and just for this reason, a lot of countries can pay you just quite enough money to live, to be able to live, to be able to buy some food, pay rent, and so on. How does it feel?
I would say it feels like a blessing and a curse, because I feel very lucky to be able to do that. But what I've learned is that being a native gets your foot in the door. It gives you the opportunity, but there's other natives out there. So if you're a native and you're lazy and you're just native, like nowadays there's a lot of competition. So like that's not enough. So you need to be a native, and you need to learn how to work with people, and you need to learn more about grammar, which I've been doing. So yeah, it's definitely a huge gift, and it's a huge privilege, but if you want to do it right, it can also be a lot of stress and a lot of hard work. So don't think it's all roses and sunshine, because I'll tell you what, I've had some long nights since I've gotten here. So I had a lot of fun talking to you guys about my experiences in Ukraine. I hope you enjoyed it. And obviously, I hope you know that I was trying to be comedic for a lot of it, okay? So have a good one, and I hope you see you guys next time.
Ну что, ребят, если вам понравилось, как Ник рассказывал про свой опыт жизни в Украине, чем отличаются цены в Украине от американских цен, девушки и прочее. Если у вас есть какие-то предпочтения на тему того, какое дальше нам снять видео, пишите их в комментарии, мы обязательно прочитаем, ответим. Если какая-то будет классная тема, снимем ролик на нее. Так что всем пока, ребят, оставляйте свои комментарии и оставляйте большие пальцы вверх.